Where was Grandpa born anyway? I don't
Well,
know.
I'll tell you, he was born what they call Provo Bench. Now it's Orem. Out on, well, just up east of where, you know, it's getting, they changed so much so that it's hard to remember. I knew the place where he was born, the house and all of that, and who it used to belong to after they moved away, but he'd lived on Provo Bench all his life and went to Vineyard School.
Now, is that up by the mountain or down by the lake?
Well,
I don't even know.
Vineyard is, what do you mean, Provo Bench? Or?
Yeah.
Well, halfway in between, I guess you'd call it.
But it's Orem now.
It's Orem now.
Okay.
And then Vineyard, that's out where the steel plant is.
That's what I was thinking. That was more down by the lake.
Yeah. Well, he lived up east of there. And then after we got married, we moved a little closer to the lake, and right on the Lake Shore Road, you might say.
Was it his parents that came directly from Denmark, or was it the ones before? Or?
No, they came. His dad is from Denmark, but his mother was from Norway. They came directly from there when they were young. His dad was about 7 years old when he came, but his mother was, she had been married over in Norway and had 2 children. One of them died after she got here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you heard us talk about Inga.
Yeah?
Well, that was the daughter that she had when she came over.
Oh, so that's Grandpa's half-sister.
Yeah, she's a half-sister to him. And then, of course, there's May. She's still alive, but she's nothing but a vegetable. She's 95 years old.
Now, is she a whole sister then?
Yeah, she was a whole sister. And then he had a sister, Annie, and one Lizzie, and they both died during Lizzie died of the flu in 1918, and Annie died when she had a baby in 1919 in February. Wouldn't that be terrible to lose 2 grown girls like that, and each had their 3rd child when they died?
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, Lizzie died in December and Annie died in February. And of course, the rest of them lived on to raise their families. Boy, I don't know what could be much worse than to lose 2.
2 of your kids, and especially so close like that.
So close and leaving 3 babies.
So where did you guys, well, just a minute. I always want to know, how did you guys meet? I mean, like, did you go courting in your little horse and buggy or what?
Well, I'll tell you, that was funny. Of course, you see, my mother's folks lived on Provo Bench, and we used to go up there, and you know how kids gets together and runs, and we were up there once and over to Joe's folks' place, and of course Minnie was, Minnie and Edna was along with our age, and we'd go over there and play. Kind of more or less growed up together in a certain way.
Oh, really? So what, it would like you would go over to your grandma's and go play with the neighbor kids, which was Grandpa. Oh, well, that's neat.
And one day, you see, Grandpa is kind of a backward-going guy about like Bradley. And he didn't go out very much. One day we were over there to his folks, and it was cherry time like now.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to talking, stood under the cherry tree and got to talking. He picked cherries and I ate it.
You ate them while he picked them, huh?
He picked them and I ate them, yeah. Oh dear. He was quite comical, and they was all laughing about him making up with me, you know. I have a whole gang of kids along that street.
You just didn't seem like a likely pair to him, or what?
Well, just 'cause he was shy,
So shy.
and backward, and he never took any interest in girls.
That's funny.
So then we started going together. We went together, I guess, for about, a year or better.
Oh, yeah?
And he finally asked me if I'd accept a ring for this finger. It's like that.
How old were you guys?
I was 20 when we got married, and he was about, he was about 23 and a half, I believe,
Oh, yeah?
when we got married. And Rex was born in 1921, and
And how long had you been married then?
10 months. 10 months to the day.
To the day.
Yeah, you'll laugh when you play this.
Oh, this is wonderful. That's,
And,
I wonder about that. You see old movies and stuff about the guy courting his gal and whatever, and I always wondered, is that what my grandma and grandpa did, or what?
yeah, we had the old horse and buggy. We never had an automobile until after Rex was born. And, he's a pretty good-sized baby. I don't know. And we got an old Model T Ford that would hardly run, and thought we had the world by the tail. And he started working. We lived out there just west of the steel plant, and then he started working for Chris Barbacus. And, doing, he hauled beets and one thing and then the other, and then he started working for Chris, and we got to move to the lake shore and
What was he doing for Chris?
farming,
Oh.
milking cows, chopping beets and harrowing, just genuine farming. And then when the steel plant come in, we had to move. Then he went to work for the steel plant.
When did they start the steel plant?
In 1942.
So you had all your kids and stuff by then, or?
Oh yes, your dad was about 7 years old, I believe. We figured that out one day. I think he was about 7 when we moved over here. And of course, we moved over here in 1944. We lived in what we call, there was a cannery in a house down there that we lived in a couple of years before we found this place.
Dad's taken us down there once and showed us and telling about how the floors were sunk and they had to kind of put the place back together.
Yeah, the Japs said that. That was a good house. I liked that house. And the Japs was living in it and had onions stored in there and had so many that it pulled the floor away from the walls. And of course my brother worked for the railroad, and he let us take some railroad jacks, and they cut holes in the floor and got them under there and jacked the floor up and connected it together, and we lived in that for 2 years right there beside the railroad track.
Now, was that anywhere near this resort that your brothers had? Just kind of fascinates me. Was that near that area, or?
Oh yeah, this was just north of that area.
What, was the resort more like where the Provo Harbor is at, or that
well, there was
kind of in between, or?
No, there was a big dance hall there and a big hotel. And then they swum when the lake was up, and the lake would go down and damn near go dry. I shouldn't be using that kind of language, should I?
I'm not worried about it.
But when we moved just south of where the old resort was, why, the lake went down and the great big cracks in the mud, dried out. And we'd have to go down, and tamaracks growed up through there. Oh, they were a pretty tree. Just a shrub like,
Yeah.
And we'd have to go out there and drive the cows in. They had trails through them. Oh gosh, you could almost walk from Geneva over to Mountain Fork Resort across. Well, you could do. It was that dry.
It was that low?
It was that low.
My gosh. Now, let me get this straight. The resort was north of the cannery, and
No, south.
It was south. So the resort was like in between where the Provo Harbor is now and Geneva, or?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right where the resort is. Out here west of the steel plant where you cross the Denver and Rio Grande track.
Uh-huh.
Well, you just go right down there, and the resort was right there. Go down at the end of that road before you made the turn to go along Lakeshore Road. And there's trees, there's still trees and things.
What happened to it?
Well, this kind of times, and then the steel plant come in, and it just got to where people wouldn't come down there anymore.
It wasn't like destroyed or anything. It just kind of went under.
Went down. There wasn't much to it. There wasn't, just kind of went out of business like.
You were telling me once you used to go down there and help them take care of it and clean the rooms and stuff, didn't you? Or did you just do that for a while? Or?
My brothers had it, and I stayed. I went down there and stayed and cooked for my brother Thor. When he wasn't married, and Wallace and Leonard, of course, was.
Oh.
And I stayed there one summer and helped him out, and then I'd help in the store part when they'd have dances and that. Of course, they'd made a go of it if Leonard hadn't got pneumonia and died. But Thorett was going to school and teach. Well, he was teaching school, and Wallace had his job on the Rio Grande track. He was section foreman there. And he was more or less up to Leonard to take care of the place, off season. He generally opened up. Well, maybe they'd open up around decoration time and then close on Labor Day. And of course they wasn't around only in the evening to help the dances and things of that sort. And so when Leonard died, they sold it to Taylor and Eastman.
Oh, so they sold it before it went out of business?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they sold it, and they ran it for quite a few years, and then they bought Saratoga. In fact, one of the Eastman offsprings are in Saratoga now. One of, all right, called it, oh yeah, he's an Eastman boy that runs Saratoga now. He was the son of one of them that was running the resort at the time.
What was it called?
Geneva.
Just Geneva Resort?
Geneva Resort. There's where they got the Geneva Steel Plant from, the name of the Geneva Steel Plant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. It seems like you were telling me they used to have a big swing or something that would go over the lake?
Oh, yeah. And they had 2 big swings up by the side of this hotel. Doggone it, I had them clippings out of the paper. And I sent them up to Athos. It showed one of the swings. Great big high ones. We'd get in them and swing until, honest to gosh, if we ever fell when we was up high enough, we'd splatter.
I would just love to see that. That sounds so neat. It really sounds like fun.
The reason I sent them up to Athos is people's always looking for pictures of where they was born, and Athos was born down there in that old hotel.
Now, who is this?
My niece, Athos, Wallace's daughter.
Oh. Didn't know that. Dad was telling me once something about Grandpa was really liked to play baseball or something.
He did.
Did he? I never knew that until just a little while ago.
He was a baseball fiend. And that Jesse is just like him now.
Oh, really?
He used to say, well, it's funny, I never had a boy that was interested in baseball and I've not got a grandson. And it would tickle him to death to see these 2 little kids play ball now.
Jason and Jesse?
Yeah. Jason likes to play, but he's not got it in his system like Jesse has. That kid would come dragging that ball bat up under one arm and a ball under the other up for wanting me to play ball with him. He wasn't only about 2.5 years old. The bat was bigger than he was.
Well, did Grandpa used to play a lot then, or did they have, they have regional games and stuff now? Did they do?
They just had a bunch of guys that get together on a Sunday afternoon and play. They called it the Salt Grass League, that's what they called it.
The Salt Grass?
Yeah.
League?
See, there was salt grass that was on the lake shore there. They had a diamond down on the lake shore, and they'd get down there and play, or they'd go over to Geneva and play, and when, they'd play at Geneva when they didn't have any excursions or anything. They had the baseball diamond over there, and they'd go over there and play. And they did. They'd collect quite a crowd to watch them play.
So there was never really any organized type games like they have now, or did they have different towns playing each other? Or?
No, this was just more or less a gang of that get together and play on their own.
Well, that would be a lot more fun. John had a group of guys that used to get together on Sundays and play football, just like that, and he has really good memories, just getting together with the guys. I had seen a movie about a baseball player, and I guess it was just after Dad had told me that Grandpa always had to know who'd won the World Series or something, and I was just surprised. That was something I never knew.
Oh, he watched them on television. I got to where I was knowing quite a bit about baseball myself through him watching them, but he You know, he liked to see a good tight game. If one game played and run away from himself, oh, you can have television. It's not interesting, he says. When one side gets all the runs and the other don't get any, he says it's not interested that way. I says, well, it's baseball. Well, I don't like it that way. He says, I like to see a good tight game. You know, when they'd stay well, one point ahead of the other, 2 points, and then they'd get, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, what did Grandpa like to do? I mean, I look at Dad and wonder how much of that he got from Grandpa. Was Grandpa a homebody like Dad?
Yes, he was.
He doesn't like to go traveling?
No, he never liked to go. In the later years. Why, we'd take a trip for the day, but we'd hardly ever go any longer farther than, up and around where we'd get back maybe a couple 100 miles. We'd maybe drive down to Nephi and have our dinner and come home, or go up and around Mirror Lake and, you know, things like that. We went out to Vernal one trip when they was building that Flaming Gorge Dam and down through the Ashley Park and into Green River, Wyoming. And that bird was up early. We left Green River, Wyoming at about 6:30 in the morning and stopped in Little America and had our breakfast. And stopped in Heberston for a little while and come on home. And that was the size of his.
He's traveling, huh? He liked to go out. What else did he do or like to do or didn't like to do?
Oh, I don't know. He liked the blacksmith. He was a good blacksmith.
That was something I remember when I was little, sneak down there and peek in that blacksmith shop, and it was so scary. I remember that, and everything was black and dirty, and I wasn't old enough to really know what it was all about, but did he do a lot of that, like for neighbors and stuff?
Yeah, he done quite a bit of it. He'd done quite a bit after he retired from the steel plant. He'd fix the guys that bring their plow points, plow shears over to be fixed, and one thing and another. And as long as he could get welding compound, but it was hard to get the welding compound to build a new nose on the plowshares, so he kind of quit that. He shod horses. Horses and farming was his main hobby.
See, I never saw him out with the horses or in the shop or anything. I didn't know if he was really a horseman or...
Well, he liked to work with horses. That's how come we bought this place, because the 2 years we lived in the cannery house down there, he didn't have a horse, and he about went nuts, and we'd come up to Pleasant Grove, and he'd see a man out in the field. He says, I wonder if that guy will think I'm crazy if I go and ask him if I can drive those horses around that field once.
Oh, so he wasn't as much of a rider as he was.
No. No, he never rode a horse.
Oh, well, I somehow just couldn't see him being a real rider.
No, he never rode a horse. He just liked to drive and to plow and do his farm work with. In fact, he had horses here after he bought a tractor. He'd always use the horses, and Rex would use the tractor.
Did Uncle Rex pick up the blacksmith and stuff?
No,
did he ever do any of
not
that?
exactly. He wasn't too... Oh, he tried to do a little bit, but he wasn't too much on that. He kind of... went into patching up old things. I got a chest. You haven't seen that chest up there I got with 2 drawers in. It's sitting over
In the front room?
in the kitchen there.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Well, he built that.
Oh, did he?
He built that out of them old ammunition boxes he got. Took and built that out of that and polished it up and finished it up just like. And he built, patched things up for the kids. He built sleighs, and that winter before he died, why, he had what they called a whirly gig out here, a pull in the ground, and then another pull that went out this way, you see, and a sleigh on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Get a hold of that, push the kids around, and that bucket I got hanging on the fence down there, he punctured it full of holes, and he'd take water out, pack water out, and put on that track at night so it'd freeze.
So wait, he'd have the sled tied to the pole in the middle, and it would go around, and then
on the pole that went out, the arm.
I don't understand.
See, there was a pole in the middle,
Uh-huh.
and then there was another one at the top of that went out here. And
And he'd hook the sled to that?
he hooked the sled to that. Boy, and then they'd get in there, you see, in this pole that was extended out, they'd push it.
Oh. And so then he'd get the track all iced up. I bet it'd go pretty fast.
Oh boy, he threw them off in their sleighs more than once.
Oh, that'd be neat. How do you just hook a horse to it or something up to it so you didn't have to
Yeah.
push it all the time? Well, that would be neat. How old was Uncle Rex when he died?
43.
Oh, really? I didn't think he was near that old.
Yeah, he was 43 years old.
Oh, I thought he was...
He's been dead now 20 years.
I thought he was like 29 or something like that.
No, he's 43, and he's been dead now for 20 years. He would have been 64 years, 64 this October.
What day?
21st.
21st. Well, I knew he was older than Dad, but I didn't realize he was that much older than him.
Well, you see Wanda and Rita come in between him, and there's 7 years and a half between Wanda and Rita.
Boy, you had them pretty spread out then, didn't you?
I had Wanda and Rex pretty close, and then, of course, that was the size of her family. And then Rita come along, and then 3.5 years after that, your dad come along. And that was the end of the family.
Not that bad, I guess. No. That's funny. I like to hear Dad talk about when he was little and chasing him across the tomato patch or something to get him to go to school or...
Yes, he went to school one day and then he was sick and then he missed that first week and he puttered along and he wouldn't get dressed, and I said, you hurry up and get dressed or I'll take a willow to you, and he just puttered along. I says, it's getting bus time. And I told Rita, I said, you go out and get me a willow, and I was just going to scare him, threaten him. She went out and got a willow, and he went out and got one, and now I said, you get your shoes and stockings on, or I'll use this on you. And he took his willow and made a slash at me, and I threw Rita's down and grabbed his, and I chased him up the road and down through the tomato patch. Boy, in every step I give him a crack with that willow. He was ready to go to school then.
He'd do anything to go to school that day, huh?
Boy, and he was a holler, and Joe and his grandpa and some the women that was picking tomatoes across the ditch, if they could got across the ditch, they'd come over and took the willow to me, but they couldn't get across that big ditch. And I said, well, whenever a kid thinks he's going to take a willow to me, I said, he's got another thought coming.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, it's always been Dad's the one with the willow around our house, and that's funny to think of him getting chased across the field. Oh, that's good. So where were you guys living during the Depression? Were you here?
No, we lived down on the lake
You were
shore.
still down at the lake?
Yeah.
I don't have a very good time relation here. I don't know what I'm talking about. But, so Grandpa was just farming all during that time?
Yeah.
Did it hit you very bad?
Did he what?
Did the Depression hit you guys very bad?
Oh,
or
you bet it did. We had
you
a
were
few
farming
cows
yourself,
and milked the cows for a living, and we was only getting about 8 cents a gallon for the milk. Something of that sort, not very much. We got our butter out of it and a little bit of a milk check, and we'd go, when we'd get the milk check, I'd go to town and buy a big slab of bacon and maybe a little fresh meat, depending on how much money we had. We generally tried to get a little fresh meat, and then this here big slab of bacon would do us for the next 2 weeks. It was one slice a piece, slice it off in one serving a piece. We never had any refrigerator either.
What did you do? Did you just have your icebox thing, or?
Never had anything, just kept in our cupboard. And I got a hold of some boards and built a little cooler box and set out under a flowing well and had the water running through, and we kept our butter and stuff in that to keep it from running away in the summertime. But all I had, and another thing is, all I had to keep for dishes and eats and flour and sugar and everything, and that was the kitchen cabinet. And then to think of all the cabinet space I got up there and the refrigerator and that, I wonder how in the devil we ever got along.
Boy, I should say. So, did you just grow all the rest of everything you needed, or?
Yeah, we growed our own potatoes and vegetables and things, and we lived out of the garden in the summer and kill pigs in the winter. When we buy this bacon, that was summertime, you see, when our pig meat run out. We'd kill a pig and we'd salt it down and then hang it up and dry it, and when it was dry, we'd bury it in coarse salt to keep it. And we'd keep it out in the summer that way.
Now this little flow well thing, Dad took us down there once. Did you have that where there's that big ditch? It was quite steep, the one that he showed us. There was a little ditch running through there?
No,
was that
it was, the flowing well was up above there, and the water from this flowing well, it run off into that ditch.
Oh.
You see, when there wasn't irrigating with it, but this flowing well, it was a big pond around it. And I had this here little box sitting in there. Of course, we had a plank to walk out on to get a bucket of water.
I didn't know there was a little pond thing there.
Well,
I had to go back down there and look around. And showed us where the barn was and the foundations and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's it. The steel plant has plugged all them up. The wells and that. We lived on the south side of the ditch. The barn that was on the north. We lived on the north side of the ditch, and the barn that was on the south side.
Well, that Did you have a little walkway over that, or did you just...
No, we just had to go down the road and across the bridge out in the road and then up to the barn.
Because that was, kind of a steep little...
Oh, you bet, that was a deep ditch.
So when did Grandpa retire? I mean, how long?
Well, he retired when he was 65 from the steel plant. I don't know. I'd have to figure out what year that was in. We was living here then. Then he just farmed and...
So I don't ever remember him.
He farmed and then he'd fix plot points for different people, do a little blacksmith work. And we had half a dozen cows, one thing and another.
Well, that's neat.
And when we got this place paid for, he says, well, now we're taking that money. We paid $50 a month on this place.
Oh, boy.
And got it paid for, and he says, now that money's going in the bank. We got along without it while I was paying for the place. That money's going in the bank, and it's went in the bank, and it's been building up ever since.
Now what are you going to do with it?
Well, I'm in hope.
Take a wild trip.
No, keeping it for my old age. It's hard to tell how long I'll be kicking around and needing it. I got a sister that's trying to talk me into going into a rest home now.
Oh, really?
Next time she mentions it, I'll ask her if she got the money to pay for it. But she thinks we pick money off in this place.
What were some of the... I don't know how to phrase this. I don't want to say some of the rotten things Grandpa used to do. But I get John's dad or Grandpa talking, and he used to be a bit of a rascal doing practical jokes and playing pranks and stuff. Was Grandpa ever much of a... Did he play around a lot, or...
No, he never did. He drank a little bit, and when he done his drinking, he drank it at home. He never got out and prowled around like a lot of men do. He'd go and buy it and come home and drink it.
He wasn't any of a prankster then, huh?
No, he was no prankster.
Oh. Now, you told me when you were dating him he was pretty funny, though. You said he was comical.
Yeah, well...
Or was that just being so shy?
Just being shy. He's a good deal like Brad. He was about Brad's age, I guess, when we got married. What is Brad, 24?
I think so. Where did you get married?
Over to Provo in the courthouse.
Did you have, like, receptions or something like we have now, or?
Oh, heavens, no. I had a little get-together, a little home, invited some of the guests and their relatives and that, and had a little home shower.
Got your bear?